way across the pedestrian crossing.
Really? One day I just woke up and I saw pedestrian crosswalks on the road. No one really showed me how to use them properly.
Well, this is how it's done. You never cross before doing these things. They might save your life. First, when you get to the crosswalk, you stop. You look left, you look right. If there's a vehicle coming, you put your hand out, making eye contact with the driver, indicating that you want to cross. And only when the vehicle comes to a complete stop, you quickly cross to the other side.
Stop, look, hand out, eye contact. Wait for pedestrian to cross to the other side, then you happily continue on your journey. This message is brought to you by this group of insurance companies, the Traffic Advisory Body, and the Traffic Department.
Good morning to you, Grenada, Carriacou, Petite Martinique, the rest of the Eastern Caribbean, the rest of the world. And welcome to this segment of Good Morning Grenada for today. It's Tuesday. Actually, it's the 24th day of the wow. Am I going there? The 24th day of January in the year 2023. If it's your first time joining us, well, welcome on board. Indeed a joy, a privilege to be with you once again. Classic with you anywhere and everywhere. Yeah, 27 minutes on to the off 7 o'clock. And of course, just reminding you that at 7, we've got the program or the AM edition of News, Sports and the Weather. That's on Classic, and if you're on the television platform, we've got a rebroadcast of last evening's television news. So here we are once again as we try to stimulate your word power, but before we do that, I want to say good morning to some wonderful folks. Pepe out there in Toko Bay in St. David, good morning to you. Also want to say good morning to you, Mr. Lead, out there in Pomrose in St. David, former employee at Nawasa. While at that, I want to say good morning to you, Mr. Husbands, and the entire team of Nawasa. Hope everybody all right. Yeah, hope everything is going fine. And yeah, all the guys, Devon and Glenn and Wendell and what's my partner name again, boy? Can't remember. Again, old, you know. Nonetheless, good morning, Louis and Buck. Good morning also. I want to say a special good morning to my dear lady, Miss Taylor, out there in Telescope in St. Andrew. Also to you, Miss Doreen, out there in Pearls, close to the Pearls Airport. Hope everybody all right. So let's get to the gist of the matter now, the word of the day. And the word of today is endemic. Endemic, it is an adjective and it means growing or existing in a certain place or region. It can also mean common in a particular area or field. All right, endemic. We hear pandemic, we hear endemic. Nice. Growing or existing in a certain place or region. Can also mean common in a particular area or field. We can use this word in these manners. Our children were excited to finally see wild giant pandas endemic to just 3 provinces in south central China during a family vacation. We can also say, although he discovered that low wages were endemic to his line of work, he continued to pursue his passion. So that's the word of the day. Write it down, jot it down, learn to spell it, learn learn to use it. Yeah, good. Now, the thought of the day, and I love this one oh so much. You remember that? Who remembers the thought from yesterday? I do. The young can run fast, but the old know the way. That's the thought for yesterday. But the thought for today is, the man who asked a question is a fool for a minute. But note that the man who does not ask is a fool for life. That has to be a Chinese proverb. Confucius. The man who asked a question is a fool for a minute, while he remained in ignorance. But he got wise the moment he asked the question and he got the answer. However, the man who does not ask is a fool for life, remaining in your ignorance. That's what it means. 23 minutes on to 7 o'clock. Good morning, all those of you on the various buses heading down to your various job locations. Good morning to you, drivers. Be safe on the roads. Conductors, if you're dropping off passengers, ensure that the road is clear for them. You look in front and behind of that vehicle, that bus that you're conducting on, to make sure that the road is clear. All right? Yeah, good. Okay, so we have, we're celebrating 49 years of independence, and the theme for this year's celebrations is the journey to 50, reflecting on the past, planning for the future. Yeah, that's nice. What's buzzing this morning? Interesting story. Some workers of Cane Coal Limited protested at the entrance of the business headquarters on Monday morning, opposing the termination of permanent cane harvesters. We will be looking at this story. Yeah, we will be looking at this. Yeah, I would try to tie it in with what we talked about yesterday. The consumption of excess sugar and the tax that is being placed on, So we'll look at that this morning. I'm going to tweak it a bit. Interesting news for the members of the, formerly GUT Credit Union. It has a new headquarters. It's relocated and rebranded to Nexa. All right, the GUT Cooperative Credit Union becomes Nexa Credit Union with new headquarters in St. George. So we have Ariza, and now we have Nexa. Who's next? Just about 10 days until the excise taxes on alcohol and cigarettes is increased. Representatives in the Senate mulled over the tax amendment on Friday. Some folks say they wish they could bring the pack of cigarettes to $100. Yeah. All right. Now, officials of the Electoral Office are calling on voters to take the opportunity to review the first consolidated voters list for 2023, which will be available from January 24th. It will be available from today. We will be looking at this story as well. So basically, these are the two stories we will be looking at this morning. However, you heard one of the buzzing topics and you want to comment on them, you can do so. The Generation Grenada Foundation, Inc., which is a non-profit organization, it was launched last week. We did a story on that yesterday in the news. And also, businessman on gun-related charges. Police have made yet another arrest in connection with a gun-related incident. What's up with this? Who does that? So good morning. Let me see what's happening on our Facebook page. What happening here? I don't understand it. I didn't see no comments yet, boy. What happened? They forgot us on Facebook or something? Let me do a refresh and see. And in the interim, let me see what, right, we've got a comment. Let me see who's here. Okay. I'm not understanding what's going on here, but I guess we'll get that rectified as the morning progresses. On our WhatsApp, just good morning. That's the difference with the Facebook and the WhatsApp. Right, okay. Petlin, good morning. How are you doing? All is well. Well, I'm glad you get your cassava, so we'll get some firing soon, yeah? Yeah, get some firing and yeah, it's good, good, good. Cynthia Villagran says, good morning. Good morning to you too, Cynthia. Hope you're doing fine and that all is well. So quickly, let's recap. The word of the day, endemic. It is an adjective and it means growing or existing in a certain place or region. It can also mean common in a particular area or field. Our children were excited to finally see wild giant pandas, which is endemic to just 3 provinces in south central China. That happened during our family vacation. And we can also say, although he discovered that low wages were endemic to his line of work, he continued to pursue his passion. The thought for the day. The man who asks a question is a fool for a minute. The man who does not ask is a fool for life. Don't be a fool for life. Ask the question. Rearrange your ignorance. Yeah? Nice. Good. So it's 18 minutes on to 7 o'clock. This is where we take the break from this segment as we head to the AM edition of News, Sports and the Weather here on Classic. And like I hinted to you before, those of you on the television platform, we've got the rebroadcast of last evening's television news. Stick and stay with us. We're with you anywhere and everywhere.
When you need someone to help you to your feet, I'll be that beacon to your highest peak. Oh, I'll be right next to you, no, I will never leave. Come on, take my hands, we got everything we need. Cause you can look to me, yes, I can. Whenever you're in need, yes, you can. Just call on me and I'll be on my way. I'll be by your side, never to divide. The light that shines our way. Wherever you road leads, we'll make your dreams come true. Next side, next side, next side, right next to you.
Nexa Credit Union, with you wherever your road leads.
Thanks for joining us. The Royal Grenada Police Force has confirmed the occurrence of a police-involved shooting incident which took place on Thursday, January 19, 2023 at Montu St. George, resulting in 1 man being injured. Police responded to reports of a man behaving aggressively, which led them to the home of Stephen Carrington at Montu St. George. He was met with a cutlass in his hand. In response to actions by him, one of the officers discharged his firearm and Mr. Carrington received a gunshot wound. He was then subdued and immediately taken to the General Hospital for medical attention, where he was admitted as a patient. Stephen Carrington passed away at the General Hospital on Friday, January 20, 2023, while being treated for the gunshot wound. Investigations into the matter are ongoing. We can tell you too, a postmortem will be conducted to determine the cause of death. Other news, one of the organizations deeply concerned about the treatment of people with mental health issues is the Friends of the Mentally Ill. Joining us is President of the organization, Dr. Evelyn Spencer. Dr. Spencer, good evening.
Good evening to you, sir.
Right. Another citizen with mental health issues died after being shot by police. What are your biggest concerns as an organization relative to the police carrying out their duty involving people with mental health issues?
But the biggest concern is that what we have for the entire population is that persons have to see, including the police and everyone else, that those with mental illness are also human beings, citizens, and need to be treated that way. I don't know the circumstances of the situation that occurred. But I would think that the usual approach of the police to the patients, as far as we would hear from, we learned from speaking with them, not one that is professional or even humane. And so our concern is that the police has to recognize that their job is useful. They need to be able to get the patient where help can be offered, but it has to be done in a humane and professional manner.
Have there been any discussions with the Royal Grenada Police Force to convey the organization's concerns and perhaps lend suggestions to the police on how to approach and subdue individuals with mental health challenges?
We are in the process of doing this. As employee of the Ministry of Health, we have had conversations with the police over the years. There hasn't been anything recently because of COVID, but over the years we have, from the Ministry of Health, Mungay Hospital, we have had conversations with the police. But as the organization, from the organization's viewpoint, it's an ongoing thing, and we are in the process using patients themselves and their experiences as the medium by which we would address this.
Dr. Spencer, do you believe that part of the problem is that people with mental health issues are seen as less than others, hence less emphasis or focus is given to them?
That's what I alluded to in my first response. Patients are not seen as human beings. You know, they work for you and you get a glass, and you get a drink of rum or 2 cigarettes. They can't find jobs. They're ostracized in every aspect of life. And I think nothing is going to change until we as citizens, as a country, get to see get to accept that each one of us is depend on the other for our well-being. Now, say all of us would not be mentally ill, but we are the opportunity, where the chances are there that we may become so. And so I think for this to change, we have to start the education in primary school, very early in life, maybe even in kindergarten. Start this education that we are all God's children and we all need to be treated humanely, and with the emphasis on being empathic and caring and loving.
Mm-hmm. So are you saying finally that part of the problem is society's lack of awareness of the issue of mental health?
That is the greatest problem. And you see, it's not so much that we don't understand it. The fact is that we're not willing to be educated about it. And the education, because the education has to start early, as I said earlier. We can't wait until someone becomes a policeman, because that person who is a police officer or teacher or shopkeeper, for all his life he's been seeing the patients in that way. So it's not going to change now because I have a uniform. If anything, it might get worse, because now I have the power and I could tell it to sit down and shut up, and I could abuse it in various ways. And therefore, it really has to start early for us all to recognize that they are also my brother's keeper.
All right, we'll leave it there for the time being. Dr. Evelyn Spencer, President of the Friends of the Mentally Ill.
Thank you.
Meanwhile, in an unrelated story, police have made yet another arrest in connection with a gun-related incident. A businessman of Waltham St. Mark is the latest suspect to be charged with possession of a firearm and ammunition. Nisha Paul reports.
The arrest of 53-year-old Vincent St. Louis follows a complaint made to the police regarding an incident of assault with a firearm last Thursday. The charges were laid against the St. Mark businessman after a .380 pistol and 49 rounds of ammunition were discovered by lawmen during a search of his premises. Represented by attorney Peter David, St. Louis made his first court appearance on Monday before Magistrate Keena Marast at the Victoria Magistrates Court. He was granted $20,000 bail with 2 sureties. St. Louis has to report to the Victoria Police Station on Fridays between the hours of 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. The St. Mark's businessman has to surrender all travel documents and must request permission from the court to travel. St. Louis was also ordered to have no contact with witnesses in the matter. He is scheduled to make his second court appearance on February 15th. For GBN News, I am Nisha Paul.
Well, the issue of illegal firearms possession is the topic down for discussion on this evening's Beyond the Headlines.
The Royal Grenada Police Force continues to battle the issue of illegal firearms and possession. In less than 2 weeks, 5 individuals have been arrested and charged for the offense. A St. Mark resident was brought to court and made to place bail in the sum of $20,000. Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell has indicated that he has a zero tolerance for gun violence.
Gun trafficking, gun crime in particular, is a significant public health risk. And so I've taken a zero tolerance to gun violence and illicit possession of firearms in Grenada.
In Trinidad, Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley is urging relatives of those involved in criminal activity to assist in the fight against crime.
You have some responsibility, because to pretend that you don't know who is doing it and what is going on, and to expect miracles from the police to know who did it or who is thinking about doing it or who is hiding firearms in your house. We're asking people, if you know who isn't doing this, do the nation a favor and get that information to law enforcement.
GBN will discuss this issue tonight on Beyond the Headlines. Panelists include Grenada's Commissioner of Police, Edwin Martin.
Where is the sense of value, self-control, respect and restraint for others, and the value of life?
Trinidad and Tobago's former Commissioner of Police, Gary Griffith, who took a no-nonsense approach to combating the issue.
This is Gotham City. You are Batman. Keep pressing. They're starting to love you. Congrats to you and your team. So as I conclude, this is Batman out.
Security expert Mr. Gavin Hira believes that people are now taking the issue into their own hands.
People are taking it onto their own to deal with issues. Yes, and he's correct. Even if it is as low as just a land issue or a dispute, sometimes amongst family members. And we've had cases and seen cases where that has prevailed.
Also joining the discussion is the president of Grenada Gun Association, Dwayne Noel. Gun crimes and violence in the Caribbean, the topic of tonight's Beyond the Headlines program.
Nisha Peters reporting there. Rebranded and relocated, GUT Cooperative Credit Union is now Nexa Credit Union with new headquarters in St. George. Christina John has this report.
From Monday, January 23rd, what was the Grenada Union of Teachers Cooperative Credit Union is now operating under its rebranded name, Nexa Credit Union Limited, with its head office at a new location in the former RBTT building on the corner of Cross and Halifax Streets in the capital, St. George's. The credit union's new name comes from the word nexus, meaning connection. General Manager Ritisha Boyd described this as an evolution of the GUTCCU. Boyd adds that the new location will allow the credit union to better serve its members by providing a more modern, convenient, and comfortable banking experience.
Credit union is now at a critical juncture, where it must adapt to the changing needs of its members, society, and the environment in which we operate. To determine the direction, a perception survey was conducted among our members and our non-members to obtain their views on the state of the credit union, their needs and expectations. This allowed the board and management to craft the future direction of the organization which required a rebrand of the credit union to advance the transformation, a decision which our members readily approved at a general meeting.
A special ceremony was held on Sunday. The new headquarters features state-of-the-art technology, spacious, comfortable lobbies, and private offices with easy access to public transportation. As part of the credit union's transformation, the composition of the board of directors has also been reduced from 13 to 9 members. President Louis Williams says they are poised to make Nexa Credit Union the credit union of choice in Grenada and will not stop until that is achieved.
Currently, approximately 14,000 members. Throughout its operations, for the most part, and even up to present, the credit union has enjoyed steady growth in all the key areas. Our assets, our shares, profitability, liquidity, all the crucial and important aspects of growth. We have been trying to achieve that. This year, after 39 years of operations, the credit union is turning a new leaf to provide an even enhanced and improved level of service to its members and the public.
He notes that despite the many challenges, including that of the global pandemic, they have risen to serve their members. The Grenada Union of Teachers Cooperative Credit Union was established in 1983, 39 years ago, an idea birthed by Ms. Denise Decoto in 1977. She was specially recognized for her contribution.
I brought the idea to the credit union. They took it up immediately because I also want to give a little praise, a big praise to Mr. Julius Hossack, God rest his soul. He was part of the credit union. I think he was part of the league also. And he knew what the credit union would have meant for the union. And we were given the mandate to work on the credit union and to make it a reality. And so we did. And I'm very happy that I was able to, actually what happened, it was that I went on a social development course in Antigonish, Canada. And they mandated us when we come back home to put into practice what we were taught. And the credit union was one of the courses that I did. And this is the reality here.
Workers of Cane Co. Limited protested at the entrance of the business headquarters on Monday morning, opposing the termination of permanent cane harvesters. Renapet Thomas tells us more.
Now take a loan from the credit union and look, we out our job now. We don't know how we're going to pay back the credit union because we out our job and we don't know what would become of the company because they treat us very unkind and very bad.
I get a job letter from the company, which means that I was a permanent worker and I could get loan from any institution. And I went in the bank and took a loan on that behalf so that I could make my life better. And now that I'm in that situation now, so I really want the company to do what he had to do for the good worker.
And I just had to take a small loan there, and just last year they gave me a job letter to get the loan, because I had to get the job letter from the company to get the loan. So I don't know why they give me the job letter if they know that was going to happen.
That was full-time workers of Renegade Rum Distillers, commonly known as Cane Co. Limited, expressing their feelings on how their lives will change with the latest decision of their employers. 27 of the harvesting team were given letters stating that their service will be terminated and rehired on the contract after already being sent home on leave for the month of January. The workers, along with their union came out in protest action on Monday, saying the move by management was not first discussed with the union. Field officer of the Bank and General Workers Union, Grenada Griffith, says they stand in solidarity with the workers. He explains that after the workers received the letter on January 3rd, they did meet with management 3 times in attempt to solve the issue.
The first meeting, we told management the position that the workers were told by the supervisors to return back to the workplace, and it is unfair to them to have them stay home until the 30th. They have told us that they had to get in contact with their principals or the directors in the UK, and they get back to us. Subsequently, we had another meeting on the 13th of January, where the union was served a letter informing us that the workers, instead of returning back to work on the 30th of January, they'll be severed and there'll be changes to the contractual arrangement. So they moved these workers here from full-time employees to seasonal workers, and they made this decision on their own.
Workers at KENCO have already been unionized for roughly a year, and it was only on December 6, 2022, the first proposal was brought to the table for discussion by the union.
We submitted a proposal for the terms and conditions of the workers in December, I believe December 6th. I'm subjected to corrections. So far, management has not sent back a counter proposal for us, but only sent a letter saying that they wish to sever the workers.
Griffith says management at KENCO did explain why they decided to change the arrangement with workers.
Management presented the reasons that they're saying that if you look around, the cane is not yet ready for harvesting. But however, in the past, when this occurred, the workers would be absorbed into the maintenance department. So far, what has been on the table or put forward on the table is that management has since Ministry of Labour. So I believe the next place we would meet with management is at the negotiating table at the Ministry of Labour.
Through a press release, KENCO stated that as per the Employment Act, KENCO Limited has terminated the current contract of employment with the KENCO harvesters and offered immediate re-employment on the new contracts as seasonal KENCO harvesters. The release further states that each terminated worker shall receive all statutory compensation to which he or she is entitled. For GBN News, I am Rena Pett Thomas reporting.
Now, just about 10 days until the excise taxes on alcohol and cigarettes increase. Representatives in the Senate mulled over the tax amendment on Friday. Beverly Telesford reports.
Effective February 1st, 2023, there will be an increase in the excise tax on alcohol from EC $1.10 and EC $4.40 per liter to EC $1.50 and EC $5 per liter respectively, and the excise tax on cigarettes from 105 to 200%. While addressing the tax amendment for alcohol and tobacco during the sitting of the House of the Senate on Friday, Senator David Andrew, Minister for Education, Youth, Sports and Culture, said the NDC government is attempting to alleviate an issue which is affecting societies across the world.
Start by acknowledging that the issue we are attempting to address is indeed not just a local, but it's a regional and international problem, and I probably dare say crisis. And in my support for this resolution, I want to show us how internationally and locally it's necessary to take some form of action. I want to further put to us that this administration is taking a multi-pronged approach to treating this issue. Then according to the World Health Organization, there is a causal relationship between harmful use of alcohol and a range of mental and behavioral disorders.
Senator Quince Britton says the onus is on government to lead the people away from a culture that glorifies alcoholism.
We have a responsibility also to strengthen our laws and so on, because it doesn't matter what price that you set alcohol at. I've been to many fests. I used to be walking bars and so on, and a bottle of drink or a bottle of alcohol at a
you normally pay, let's say $50 for, even if you double or triple the price, someone will still come to buy it.
Farmers and fishers representatives in the Senate, Roderick Sinclair, questioned some aspects of the amendment, which would allow government to collect more revenue from the increase in taxes.
It's my understanding that excise tax, taxing any farming school, it means that we are paying money and the government at the end of the day would collect more revenue. How much monies are we anticipating as a country to collect in taxes from this excise tax pertaining to alcohol and cigarettes? Is it going to cause more or less consumption? And so I even was thinking before I come here, why don't we put some tax at the ports? And then they say, no, you cannot think of that because that may cause issues with trade regulations, and so I had to back out from that. So it's a tax that the user, the consumer, has to pay.
From February 1st, there will also be an increase in the value-added tax on carbonated beverages, soft drinks, sodas, and drinks with high sugar content from 15 to 20%. For GBN News, Beverly Telesford.
The Grenada Published Authors Incorporated is partnering with an alumnus of St. George's University in an initiative to raise funds for the restoration of the public library. Nisha Paul reports.
The initiative, dubbed Beautiful Grenada, is a fundraising effort involving publishing an anthology of poems before Grenada celebrates 50 years of independence in February 2024. Director of the Grenadian Published Authors, Inc., David Ambrose, says proceeds from the sale of the book will be donated to the Public Library Restoration Fund. He issued a call for the submission of poetry, photographs, and artwork depicting the parishes, its beautiful people, our history, food, carnival, and other festivals and traditions, or anything that paints the beauty of the country.
We're going to put those together in that book. We've already identified someone, a Grenadian painter. In fact, we've identified Susan Mains, a Grenadian artist. She has pledged one of her paintings to be the cover of that book already. So we expect to have a lot of poems. We want to put together 100 poems plus some artwork or images in the book.
Interested persons have until July 1st to send in their contributions via email.
The entry points are myself, David Ambrose, here in Grenada, and we also have Dr. Stan Suchka, who's based in Orlando, and Mr. Anthony Derriggs, who's based in Brooklyn. And so we have our email addresses to which people could submit their pieces, their poetry, as well as the images of the paintings and the photographs. Our email addresses are on flyers that we're circulating even as we speak, and they're all over social media. I am also going to contact the Ministry of Education because we like students to be involved. Primary students, secondary students, students at the tertiary institutions like TAMCC and SGU, in addition to Grenadians worldwide and Friends of Grenada.
The initiative is the brainchild of Dr. Stan Suchka, who was among the first graduates of St. George's University. He wants to give back to the Grenadian society.
He really loves our country. He just wanted to give something back to express his gratitude. So when he heard about the library issue, and then later he saw that government had extended $800,000 towards the libraries, then he came up with the idea that this could be a way in which he could give back. He's also a poet. He has published a book of poetry, and a lot of his poems are about Grenada.
Ambrose says contributors to the book will receive complimentary copies. The book will also be available on the island and online. For GBN News, I am Nisha Paul.
This evening's ISAW submission may take a little more than a peek. Fun, learning and exercise of the eye muscles are among the benefits that can be enjoyed in this ISAW.
Tonight's eye source submissions are a quick way to do a basic eye test while having a little fun. In this optical illusion image, there is a car key hidden in plain sight among the cars. Can you spot the car keys in about 10 seconds? Now let's try this one. This is a card of random letters. Can you find 8 words in about 60 seconds? How good do you think your eyesight is after these quick fun tests? Let's see. What's your next eyesore suggestion? Share with us your interesting photo and video submissions via WhatsApp at 405-3052 or our other social media platforms.
Rep your colors. Hot 98 presents the 473 Colors Boat Ride. Going on Saturday, February 4th. Get your tickets now at gotofed.com for only $65. Food included. Boarding time 7 p.m. The boat sails at 7:30. Music on board by the Hot 98 DJs plus other guest DJs.
Baby, calm down, calm down.
Rep your colors on the boat, cause this one here is gonna be epic. Lock the date, Saturday, February 4th. Hot 98 473 Colors Boat Ride. Don't you miss this.
All right, welcome back, welcome one, welcome all. How are we doing this morning? Hope everybody is okay. Good morning, Lovey. How are you doing? You all right? Yeah, Bev, you good? All right, stay that way. Okay, taking a quick look at our Facebook page. Heaven Hill says, taxing the cigarette is not as effective as passing the Tobacco Ban Act. That will regulate smoking in public to limit exposure to secondhand smoke. I agree with you. Maxwell Belfon says, good morning, GB, and have a wonderful day. All right, have a wonderful day yourself. Alison Cox Osplund says, good morning to everyone. And Yulin Alexander says, good morning, Gordon. Good morning, Grenada. Blessings to all. Have a terrific Tuesday. Stay blessed. Stay safe, everyone. Yulin, you do likewise. And my good friend Alistair Warwood Sr., I'm here watching. Love my spicy people. Good morning to all of you. Welcome to the conversation this morning. As I hinted to you earlier, it's about 2 topics that I want to throw out. However, I'm going to run through what's buzzing. The word of the day, of course, is the word endemic, and it means growing or existing in a certain place or region. It can also mean common in a particular area or field. We can say it this way, we can use the word these ways. Our children were excited to finally see wild giant pandas, endemic to just 3 provinces in south central China during our family vacation. We can also use it this way. Although he discovered that low wages were endemic to his line of work, he continued to pursue his passion. The thought of the day is what I like most. The man who asks a question is a fool for a minute. The man who does not ask is a fool for life. Yeah, good. Right, so the stories that I want to look at this morning, some workers at Cane Coal Limited protested at the entrance to the business headquarters on Monday morning, opposing the termination of permanent cane harvesters. We'll be looking at that. Also buzzing is GUT renaming and rebranding, relocating. It's now Nexa Credit Union, all right, in St. George's. We've got just about 10 days until the excise taxes on alcohol and cigarettes increased. Representatives in the Senate mulled over the tax amendment on Friday. And also the other story that I want us to look at this morning is officials of the Electoral Office are calling on voters to take the opportunity to review the first consolidated voters list for 2023 which will be available from today, January 24th. Good morning to you, Mr. Paul Millett, and all the folks there at the Electoral Office. Paul, good morning to your wife as well. I know she's an ardent listener to the network. All right, we also saw last week Generation Grenada Foundation, Inc., which is a non-profit organization where it was launched last week. And another businessman has been arrested and charged in connection with a gun-related incident. So these are the stories that are buzzing. The TV guy, he's going to run that clip with the Cane-Co workers, and then we'll have a conversation on that. And later on, after we go through it a bit, then we would look at the advice from the Electoral Office. So yeah, we'll look at this. In the meantime, get your thoughts together and make it as short as possible, and try to try not to be a repeat caller. All right, we're trying to give as many persons as possible the opportunity.
We now take a loan from the credit union, and look, we out our job now. We don't know how we're going to pay back the credit union, because we out our job and we don't know what would become of the company, because they treat us very unkind and very bad.
I get a job letter from the company, which means that I was a permanent worker and I could get loan from any institution. And I went in the bank and took a loan on that behalf so that I could make my life better. And now that I'm in that situation now, so I really want the company to do what he had to do for the good worker.
And I just had to take a small loan there, and just last year they gave me a job letter to get the loan, because I had to get the job letter from the company to get the loan. So I don't know why they give me the job letter if they know that was going to happen.
And that was full-time workers of Renegade Rum Distillers, commonly known as Cane-Co Limited, expressing their feelings on how their lives will change with the latest decision of their employers. 27 of the harvesting team were given letters stating that their service will be terminated and rehired on the contract after already being sent home on leave for the month of January. The workers, along with their union, came out in protest action on Monday, saying the move by management was not first discussed with the union. Field officer of the Bank and General Workers Union, Jaron Griffith, says they stand in solidarity with the workers. He explains that after the workers received the letter on January 3rd, they did meet with management 3 times in attempt to solve the issue.
The first meeting, we told management the position that the workers were told by the supervisors to return back to the workplace, and it is unfair to them to have them stay home until the 30th. They have told us that they had to get in contact with their principals or the directors in the UK, and they get back to us. Subsequently, we had another meeting on the 13th of January, where the union was served a letter informing us that the workers, instead of returning back to work on the 30th of January, they'll be severed, and there'll be changes to the contractual arrangement. So they moved these workers here from full-time employees to seasonal workers, and they made this decision on their own.
Workers at Cane-Co have already been unionized for roughly a year, and it was only on December 6, 2022, the first proposal was brought to the table for discussion by the union.
All right, thank you very much. So this is the first story that we are looking at this morning. Cane-Co, all right. Now I am not going to get myself in any compromising position here, but I have, I have the opportunity to let you call in and give you a verdict on this. Good morning, caller.
Hi, good morning, sweetheart. How are you doing?
I am doing fine. How about you?
I'm blessed.
And highly favored.
That's right.
Talk to me.
But you see, when you treat your own like trash, people just come into and look how you treat your own, and they just want to try the same thing too. How could you have workers and permanent? You want to fire them and rehire them again? Huh? Come on, man. You don't do that to workers, but we own treat us just so. You working with a government 10 years, you can't even go in the bank and get a loan. So them people and them loan all is strict. So they feel they could come and treat workers like that. But I agree with the workers, stand up for the right. I don't get ride enough. No more riding on the back. They must learn to have respect and treat workers more highly.
So what do you think?
Helping you too.
What do you think the outcome would be? Do you think that the protest action would cause the company to change its decision?
Unity is strength, and I just want them to hold on. And when they hold on, they're going to get the result. They're going to hire them back and do a better deal with them.
Okay.
This is not nice.
Okay. Thank you. Have a nice day. Good. Folks, it's 20 minutes after 7 o'clock. I'll reserve my my comments closer to the end of this part of the dialogue. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Emerson.
Welcome to the program.
In relation to the quote of the day, or the thought of the day, said, I think, about the fool. Let me just add a little bit to it. He who asks questions cannot avoid the answers. And also, not to know is bad, but not to know is worse. And these are African proverbs. Now, I'm saying in the context, if we don't ask questions, we sometimes land up ourselves in pits and in hell. This company in particular is a company that, look at its name, Renegade Rum. And we haven't been asking questions. I mean, I was ridicule when I speak about the fact that we are bringing back a symbol of slavery. I've heard conversations from workers, and things are bad over time. I am in neighborhood of where the main nursery, and you know that, Innocent, in fact, from day one, they had no really interest in the workers. They only wanted them to get the operation going. And they have attempted to mechanize this thing, but it has not quite worked because of maybe our terrain. They began even using drones to fertilize and so on. Everything about this thing is not good. The other thing about land is the basis of independence. We have allowed these people to either, lease or buy a large amount of land under the name of Cain. Is there any other sinister means? We have the marijuana industry coming up soon, which might be more lucrative. We're not asking questions as a people, so we don't learn.
Okay.
And then we make assumptions. Okay. I heard a former leader says, praising up this project, that's good for Grenada. Look what is happening. A symbol of slavery. Thank you.
Thank you very much, caller. 23 minutes after 7 o'clock, that is the time. And the number you can call is 435-2041. We've got a caller on the line. Good morning, caller.
Yeah, good morning.
Welcome to the program.
Thank you. My first reasoning with the sugar is that I think over the years we have had this situation where I used to use a lot of sugar and I cut back on it. But when we look at it, I think it helped cut back on the problems we have with diabetes and lose loss of limbs and whatnot. Is you had to educate the children from kindergarten along with the parents. And then I believe at the end of the day, there should be a 3 to 10 year span program where, first and foremost, the people who import these sugar, these carbonated drinks, mainly children consume them. So Grenada will pass a law that of a certain percentage in terms of the sugar in the drink is allowed to be imported in Grenada.
Okay.
Anything above that will not be allowed to be imported. Also in the process, you educate the people, the farmers and whatnot, to try to to sort of put together and come together in a corporation or whatever to produce enough fruits and whatever in order to make drinks of the same low level that you said you would like to in terms of cutting back on the sugar. So therefore, I believe in the long term, probably 10 years from now, we might not have that amount of problem we have now in terms of diabetes and all this thing, because you put a system in place for people to cut back. And I think eventually people will educate themselves in general about sugar is not, consuming of too much sugar is only doing harm to you. Secondly, with the cigarette, I mean, you can't stop people from smoking, so I believe laws and rules and regulations have to come in place. I believe there should be a law put in place in Grenada that people only allowed to smoke in certain areas when you go out in public. Certain areas, you go to a party, you go to certain places, because you go to certain places, I never smoke in my life. But there are certain places when you go, the people smoking around you, you have to move and go out to get fresh air. So I believe the law should pass. These people, eventually when they go out smoking, and they want to smoke in public or in built-up areas or where they haven't any set or whatever, there certain areas should be designated for people smoking. If we in a group together, and the conversation is great or whatever it is, and I want to smoke, and I know I cannot smoke, eventually I probably won't smoke, and that will cut back on the smoking. Thirdly, with this thing with the Kinko, I believe the company, as a businessman, I believe the company had good intentions for Grenada. It's only, I think they made a mistake by him giving these people the seasonal, or the people who cut the cane, and we know in Grenada, cane is seasonal. They give them probably the wrong perception that they're full-time workers. I mean, I wouldn't do that job and then give somebody a full-time job to pay them all year round when I know I'm not making money to pay them. So I think the Ministry of the Ministry of Trade, I believe the people, the company themselves, along with the people whoever is involved in negotiating the terms and deals with these people, for the guys and them who so far has been given the assurance that they have a full-time job, if the company could fit them in different places when there is no cane cutting, I believe this thing could come to an amicable good decision. But I believe, honestly speaking, thinking about it, I think the people came to Grenada and they came here with good intentions. Probably a lot of things happened that they did not get what they want, but they're still trying. And we can't condemn them, because if we condemn, we are trying to say business people or investors are not allowed.
Okay.
So that's my take on it.
Thank you, caller. Have a good day.
All right.
All right, folks, it's 28 minutes not after 7 o'clock. 435-2041. That's the number to call to get in on the program. Good morning, caller.
Hi, Innocent. Good morning.
Hi, welcome to the program.
Thank you. You know, one of your earlier callers alluded to the name of the company, Renegade, and sometimes we really need to look at those things. But
well, hold on. Renegade, I think, is the name of the rum that they are producing.
Well, yeah, the association, you can divorce it from it. And I, too, when I first heard about this company and the intention to revive the making of the growing of sugar cane and for rum, the thought about the slavery connection did pass through my mind, and seems that this kind of action seems to be going that trend. But what I want to say is that people just come in this country. The country is led. We have leaders in this country. So whenever those things come up, I don't know why we just have to go. Those things have to take so long. We have the authority in the country must step forward and intervene, Ministry of Labor, whoever. This sort of exploitation of workers in Grenada has been something for years, not only with this company. So the authorities, we have people in power to run this country. They have a role to play. And whenever those things come up, we need to see speedy intervention to address the situation. We have been too long waiting. Even the last time, we're not foreign company, when we had a strike on the port, the government took long to. We must have. That is what the authority is there for, to set the pace. Have a good day.
Thank you very much, caller. Thank you all so much. Folks, it's 30 minutes after 7 o'clock. We take a commercial break and we'll be back. And when we resume on the resumption, we will be looking at the notification from the Electoral Office encouraging persons to look at the newly released consolidated electoral list, all right? However, we can still talk on the previous topic, but that's what we'll be zeroing on. See you on the flip side.
What did you mean earlier about climate change, Mom?
Well, when I was your age, I remember beautiful coral reefs and healthy beaches. The summers weren't as hot as they are right now, and the rainy season meant that it only rained when it was supposed to.
And then what happened?
The weather just started to change, and storms got worse. Coral reefs started to die because the ocean was getting too warm, and crops started to die because there was not much rain. We realized as adults that we were doing something that was causing this.
What were you all doing?
Same thing we're doing now, not using clean, renewable energy, chopping down too many trees, and even polluting the air with gases, such as the gases emitted from our cars when we drive around.
We need to help before it's too late, Mom. We can't let it get worse. What can I do? We can raise our voices.
With 35 million dreams, aspirations, and futures at risk in Carry Forum, we need your voice in our story against climate change. Acknowledge, commit, act. This message is brought to you by the Caribbean Community Climate Change Center under the Intra-ACP Global Climate Change Alliance Plus program and is funded by the European Union.
Your life is yours, your future's in your hands, your body is yours, that's why you need a plan. You gotta plan your family, avoid HIV, get the education from the Grenada Planned Parenthood Association.
We offer STI screening, gender-based violence counseling, prenatal and postnatal checks, injectables, condoms, pap smears, and other sexual reproductive services. Open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. The Pointe Street, St. George's. Whether male or female, it doesn't matter. We're here to make your life better.
Grenada Planned Parenthood Association.
For appointments, call 440-3341.
Total is one of the world's largest oil companies with a top quality line of lubricants. Total Lubricants has a full product line from passenger cars, motorcycle, heavy industrial equipment, mining, trucking, agriculture, and manufacturing machines and vehicles. Total Lubricants, winning championships in motorsports, including Formula One and World Rally Championships. Total Lubricants are available at all Rubis service stations, leading automotive shops, and distributed by Huggins.
Welcome back, viewers and listeners. 27 minutes on to 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock workers, you should be on the road or close to the workplace already. While my TV production guy gets that clip with the Electoral Office, just go to our WhatsApp platform. Good morning, Mr. Joseph. I've worked with a company for years. They made our position redundant, paid us off, and rehired us on contract. We were still able to get loans from the bank and do business. Just saying. All right, thanks for that comment. And yeah, let's see what's happening on our Facebook page. TV man, you can pull that clip still, right? Rose Forrester Brizan says, so it seems like anyone can come in Grenada, set up shop and do as they please, make their own laws and not go by the laws of our country. It's time we put some measure in place for these foreigners that want to do business here to abide and adhere to adhere to. And in my view, when things like these happen, close the company and send them packing, or we put a ban on them that they can't go nowhere near the premises, and the workers take charge until that one is had. Angela Mitchell says, good morning, Gordon Joseph. Good morning to you, Angela. A very interesting topic. Okay. Sylvina Charles says, good morning, Innocent. Good morning, Sylvina. Marilyn Gordon, good morning, Gordon. Good. Wow, I get a lot of morning this morning, boy. So let's go to the TV and take that clip from the Electoral Office.
The Parliamentary Elections Office is once again calling on politicians and registered voters to review the first consolidated voters list for 2023. This comes as the office continues to try to alleviate the issue of people waiting just around the election period to submit hundreds of names that they claim should not be on the list. Voter and Civic Registration Officer Ferdinand Phillip said that the opportunity is given now and throughout the year for this to be done, and that persons should take advantage of it. He reminds people that the process to remove names from the list is a long one and sometimes will be difficult to do so just at the brink of an election.
The process can be elongated.
Thank you very much. Right, so you heard this. I think it's a very good gesture in the sense that every time as election comes around during the campaign, the day or so of election or a day or so before, you hear quite a lot of political pundits complain that people were transferred from one PD or constituency to vote in the next one and so forth. So I think it's good that the Parliamentary Elections Office has taken that proactive stance, even from now, inviting people to come in and scrutinize the electoral list. I think that's a good gesture. What are your thoughts? Good morning, caller.
Hi, good morning. I actually had called about the earlier topic, but quickly on this one, I hope that folks really heed the call and they don't wait until the last day, as we had before the last election, 2 o'clock in the morning and all kinds of stuff. We're well known for doing those things, but let people act quickly. Now, about the other matter concerning the company up in St. Patrick.
Kinko.
Yes, I always wondered from the outset how permanent that operation would be. The name besides, but we have to be very careful. I mean, when you are hired, you're hired to work. You are called a worker, and if there is no work, then you cannot make a case for being retained. However, there is a procedure that must be followed. If the company feels that there is not sufficient consistent work to hire its full complement of employees permanently, it has a right to approach the union and work it out in a proper way. If people have to be severed, there are labor laws governing how people are severed and how they are compensated. So these are the things we should be looking at. We can't just say they have to keep them on. To do what? They are hired to work. And they must be work to justify their continued existence in the company. The procedure should be followed. The union should be respected. And once these things are done and people are compensated for the years of service, I do not think that we can have much of a case of saying that the status quo must be maintained. We have to be understanding, we have to be wise, and we don't want to appear to be uncivilized. That's all I would say.
Okay. Thank you very much. Have a good day yourself.
You're most welcome.
Good. 21 minutes onto the 8 o'clock. 435-2041. And Glenda Thompson says, when situations like this happens, there is a course of action that must be taken. That's where the unions come in the first instance to try and find an amicable solution. Thank you very much, Glenda, for your contribution. 435-2041, the number. Back to the telephone line. Good morning.
Innocent, I come back again, but it's on another topic. I want to applaud this suggestion with the office. You know why? Workers had too much stress and pressure. All in all, you have enough time to check out the list.
Okay, you're talking the electoral office, right?
Yeah, yes. It does be too hard. You have time. You see right now, nobody does say nothing about what else call this thing again? Oh my God. Look how I gone blank. Concerning about the vote you have to vote for to change the constitution. All know things should be going on, letting people know about it, but they just come and just want to shove down things in your throat, and then they want things to happen in the right way. So I agree with the people that calling on the electoral office to come and check out the list early.
Right.
So you won't have this big rush. Workers have to stay in the office all they have a life too. Okay. And we don't shoot them too bad.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Alison Cox Hosplund says, Grenadians cannot mistrust and badmouth every investor that comes to the island. Some would be bad and some would be good. All countries need investors because none can stand alone, and Grenada needs investors. Truer words have never been spoken. 435-2041, that's the number to call. All right. As I said, you can still, talk on any of the stories or the topics that were in the buzz. Good morning.
Morning, sir.
Welcome to the program.
I'm saying also people complaining about companies coming here and taking advantage of workers. Take a look at School of Medicine. School of Medicine is in the worst of that type of category. I am telling you that. And School of Medicine go as far as telling their workers, we are not responsible for your security and to that whatever extent because they're not under Grenada laws. Going to this, the Labor Department for School of Medicine problem, you get no solution. They have no power to relate to it. Now here is that issue with that renegade issue and Kenco. We need to separate, understand that you have to separate renegade from Kenco. Kenco is that division, part of that company that responsible for the harvesting, the production of cane. So you plant the cane, you harvest it. Now the thing about cane, as one caller pointed out, cane is not seasonal. Cane is not like mango and golden apple and this type of thing. You plant cane in January, let's say whatever you are calling that month, and if it takes 9 months to mature, you harvest it at the 9 months. If you plant it in August, you harvest it to suit the 9 months or 10 months or whatever it takes to mature. So cane is not seasonal. Cane is a permanent thing that you could have a permanent set of workers. Now the problem here started off when the former manager of the cane co-workers tried to get certain thing in place for the workers. He was well, let's say unceremoniously fired.
Okay.
I know the situation to quite an extent.
Well,
I'm telling you something. I worked in that factory. I worked building that factory. I did a good, and I know the factory from, let's say, from one end to the other. I know the place very well. I questioned workers when I was there who are part of the project itself, not the construction workers. So I know a whole lot of the operations and what the intents of the company. In the case of the cane co-workers, you could have permanent workers. But there's a problem. How much they pay them, the amount of time they work for. That could be a problem to an extent. Now, as much as they have the problem with the original manager, they find a way to work around it now because the former manager was fighting for the workers' rights. They get rid of him. Now they have a one that maybe he doesn't have a clue as to what is going on or what he should be doing. They're taking advantage of the situation. You could have permanent workers in the Kenco situation.
Okay.
And separate Kenco from Renegade in that case.
Okay.
You could have permanent workers because cane is not a seasonal thing.
Okay.
And more than anything else, that man, the owner of that company, secured so much lands in this country to make sure that cane, that the cane processing could be convenient. Now, let me tell you something that I was told by one of the main man in the production of, or the grinding of the cane. He said that machine could accommodate so much cane for the day that they can't even produce enough cane for it. The machine that grinds the cane. So that there's enough, actually, once you have enough cane, there is enough space to have permanent workers. I could guarantee you that. Based on, I mean, maybe I should say it in a different way. Maybe the union workers should come and say a lot of it. But I am telling you that based on the fact that cane is not a seasonal thing, and there are so much cane planted in this country by that company that they could have a permanent set of workers.
Okay.
Simple.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your contribution. 15 minutes on to 8 o'clock, and on a WhatsApp platform, someone says, contract workers have to perform or the contract will not be renewed. We have Grenadians who are contract workers who go to Canada every year, and the ones who do not perform do not get to go back. It is also a form of responsibility. Tell Grenadians to wake up. There is more to come in a developing island. All right, that's true. That's true. Okay. Let's see what's happening on our Facebook page. I've got to interact with my people. Grenadians cannot mistrust and badmouth every investor. I think we did that one already. Yeah, we did that. Okay, so let me just do this. Folks, that's all part of the developmental process, okay? It's all a matter of managing it. Let's see on our Facebook page what's here. Rose Forrester Brizan. So in my view, the easy way to do this, when someone died, we have to go to the NIS, submit their names for claim. So in my view, the easier way is we go to the electoral office with the necessary information to have their names removed. All right, Glenda Thompson. Okay, all right, we've done this one already. Heaven Hill says, Grenada needs investors, but they must be scrutinized and investigated to ensure adherence to laws and compliance to regulations. They must invest with the best interests of the country. Look at the investor currently building on the beach in violation of the stipulated 165 feet distance from the high water mark. We cannot be so desperate for investors that we allow violation of the laws. Let's go to the telephone line. Good morning, caller. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Joseph.
Hi, welcome to the program.
Two brief comments on two matters. One, the notice from the electoral office. I think it is a very good thing, and it's important for the people of this country to immediately move towards assisting them to purge the electoral list. The earlier we begin, it will be better for us all. But there are many other things which I wish to urge the electoral office to look at. There are some recommendations which were being made or have been made over years from the various observation missions from the OAS, for example, the CARICOM mission, on other aspects of our electoral system, namely electoral financing, campaign financing, better said, and other aspects within the activities on the day of elections. And then there is something that raised its head over the years, that of a secret ballot for the visually impaired. In this here country, the people with visual impairment have had their rights violated. The Constitution states one thing, and the laws say another thing. depriving said people from the right to a secret ballot. I would like them also to take these matters up at this stage as early as possible so they can get these matters through the legislature to have them corrected for the next election. The second thing is this, Mr. Joseph. A report came out yesterday evening, the launching of, it's called an NPO, non-profit organization, local, but they made it very clearly stipulated there that it has connection to an international organization. And I'll tell you something, I am extremely apprehensive of this sort of connection. NPOs are good, NGOs are good, non-governmental organization. But I'll tell you, so every time I hear the launching of an activity like that, I recall Haiti. Haiti is as it is today, by great part from the activities of these non-governmental and non-profit organizations with international connections. People specialize in lobbying on behalf of certain groups in small countries, and they enjoy themselves. In other words, I would like to tell Grenadians to be rather apprehensive and beware, and to beware of this organization. They are targeting people with disabilities. Hear that? It's a tendency, I can tell you in local terms. It's a tendency. Beware. And to protect yourself, I urge people with disabilities in this country, clamor upon your government, this colonial government, to begin a conversation of domestication of the laws established or the rights established by the United Nations Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities, so that we can truncate the opportunities of these vultures who are seeking to violate the rights of people with disabilities and make money upon them. There's so much more to be spoken about this matter, but I'll be brief. Beware of them. Call upon your government to begin the conversation for the domestication of the United Nations Convention on the Rights of People with Disabilities, so we don't have to have these vultures campaigning on our behalf, making money. Take a look. I'll end by telling you, take a look at the size of the executive, and I assure you, this is not voluntary. Have a nice day, Mr. Joseph. We'll be back on the issue sometime.
Thank you very much. Have a good day yourself, citizen. And folks, it's 8 minutes on to 8 o'clock. We take a final commercial break in the program, and then we come back and do the wrap.
Affordable quality products delivered to you via Superb Service. We are Superb Distributors, wholesalers and authorized agents for trusted products you know and love, like Rika Juices, Pure Heaven products, Bibbin Diapers, New Bright Laundry Detergent, Allegra Pasta, and more.
Contact Superb Distributors at 435-2948 for superb quality and service.
It's time that we realize that we must work together to thrive. As we know it, the sky and below it. Could I never have more wonder? Yeah, with life and all you see and the climate's changing. But hope is remaining. And we can't ignore the future. It depends on you and me. One chance, all that we got. One voice, together we stand. Take care of the world where we live. Permite a todos vivir. Tomamos la oportunidad para guardar la humanidad. And I must leave no one behind because we are one climate, one Caribbean,
I want you folks to play these 3 games from the NLA. Daily pick 3 cash flow and play with. You will be supporting sports and culture, nation building and our future. So go out and play, folks, make it a must. You will see what the National Lottery is doing for us. When you play pick 3 cash flow and play with, the NLA will support you all the way.
Starting September 30th, Monday to Friday, these 3 games will be drawn mid-morning, 9:45 a.m., midday, 12:45 p.m., and evenings, 7:45 p.m. The National Lotteries, supporting sports, culture, and nation building.
Sunday money day.
You ate well, drank and indulged, laughed, and had so much fun for the festive season. But now it's time. It's time for some serious detox business at Nirvana Detox Center and Natural Health Store. Start the year right with your health as a priority. Cleanse and flush your blood, liver, and kidneys with quality herbs and supplements. Purchase one of our detox combo packs starting from $100. Purchase a full body detox pack starting from $500. Get 10% off on colonic irrigation. Get a chance to win a free colonic irrigation treatment and product coupons with every purchase. We are located in Grandin, minutes before the Food Fair Shopping Center, immediately opposite the old Capital Bank building in the Regency Commercial Suites. Give us a call at 231-6642 or 418-7115 or visit nirvana.gd for more info. It's time for some serious detox business at Nirvana Detox Center and Natural Health Store. We know real body care. This offer is valid until March 31st, 2023. Terms and conditions apply.
All right, welcome back to the wrap on the program, and let's just look at what one of our WhatsApp participants had to say. Good morning, Mr. Host. I am a listener of this station for years, and all the seemingly same callers every day on almost all the programs. A lot of these callers spew a lot of misinformation that is not corrected by you and others. Firstly, the company in question has 2 registered businesses, which are Aspect 1, Cane Co., and 2 Renegade Distillers, and they are not in St. Patrick, as the caller said. They are in conference in St. Andrew. All right, and another WhatsApp user says, if the intention of Cane Co. is honorable, I think the method might be wrong. They should consult. Thank you. Let's see what's happening here on the Facebook page. All right. Okay. Right. Heaven Hill. SGU is an establishment that must be looked into carefully for its operations. Recall still waters run deep. All that glitter is not gold. Alison Cox Osplund. Haven Hill, investors do not do business in a country without government approval. Okay, so you all will have that battle here. Right. Ernesto Jose. Keith Mitchell on MTV. Who interested? I don't know. How would I know that? Grenada is a wonderful place. I love this place. All right. So yeah, 435-2041. Final call if you want to say that. Okay. 435. As a matter of fact, you know what? I think no. We'll end it here. No, I reserved my comments for the last. Just in recent times, up to yesterday, we were talking on the rise in sugar, added sugar and so forth. Cane Co., whereas I know the majority of the workers, most of them are my good friends. Good morning, Isaac. How you doing, Papi? Everything all right? And Matthew and all the... I would have loved, when I saw in the initial stages when the company was coming in, I thought, well, yeah, they're going to plant cane, so we're going to start to produce sugar again. That is what I was hoping. And we must say it on both sides. The company has created employment for quite a number of persons. All right? So it is my opinion that whatever the issues are, the union and the management, ownership and so forth, sit and find an amicable solution, because it is often said when two elephants fight, it's the grass that gets trampled. And for the workers, they can be considered as the grass there. These times are tough. People need to be working. And whatsoever the solution can be, I suggest that it is dealt with speedily. Because there are people who need to work. There are folks who can say, okay, I'm working today, tomorrow. I know a friend that says he works when his money is finished. There are folks, especially in these communities, that need to be working. They've got their children to take care of and so much more. So, in the interest of fairness, both sides, both parties sit and ensure that the interest of the workers are sought primarily. That's my take. Thank you for being a part of the program this morning. Those of you on Facebook, those of you on WhatsApp, and the YouTube platform, of course. Television as well. Thank you for being a part of the program, and we look forward to another one tomorrow. Thank you. Bye-bye.